Thanks for coming over. This is Amodeus, and today we're going to go through the Update 5 patch notes. So I haven't gotten a chance to look through all of them, so I figured we would all just do it together. Alrighty. So, Update 5 patch notes. No, Facebook. I don't want to have anything to do with you. Alright. Bugs squashed and on the path to glory. Update 5 is strengthening the multiverse. Let us know what you think, Invokers. Oh, I have a feeling people will. New feature, Path to Glory, a system designed to help new players figure out which champions to build towards the end game. I'm 100% behind this. That sounds awesome. I really enjoyed the story portion of Scenario. However, I also think that you, Gameloft, developers, designers, have an opportunity selecting the right units. So you still have a splash screen that says the Water Spearman is your go-to 6-star champion. So I question if you're going to give the right advice to players on what to build towards endgame. But I'm going to keep an eye on that. We'll see. We'll see. I'm actually pretty happy that it looks like they're going to expand that Scenario portion of it to help out new players, because I definitely think that's needed. So, gear buffs, Martial, Blighted, Withering gear sets are now stronger. Fantastic. Make it more valuable for all the effort we have to put in. I appreciate that. Champion Rebalance, standardized all damage reduction increase effects, and added 3 new buffs. Ugh. I'm not looking forward to the details on that. Easier and more rewarding bosses. Hey, that sounds fantastic. I love the way that sounds. Easy and more. Fantastic. Co-op rework, add a new reward system and reworked exhaustion mechanic. Okay. 5v5 rewards, added chests to 5 versus 5, which can be used to earn shards for new champions, including 5-star champions. Okay. Wow. That's exciting. That will hopefully invigorate more players to get into 5v5. That's very cool. Okay, so let's get into it. Metagame. New feature, Path to Glory. Quest system designed to help every game player choose which champion to build and teach strategies for more difficult challenges, such as Elder Drake. Fantastic. That sounds good. I like the idea that there's an in-game tutorial process for Elder Drake around building the right units. Cool. Okay, it's going to be found in a new Path to Glory tab in the missions menu. That mission menu is a little cluttered, so hopefully this cleans it up a little bit. A shortcut can be found in the new Goals tab in the mission widget on the main HUD of the tavern. Okay. This feature is unlocked by completing Board 4. Okay, what if you've already... Oh, yeah, here it is. If you've already completed it, just keep reading there, Amadeus. Most quests for this system are retroactive. Players who have already completed them may immediately claim their rewards, except in quests for specific actions taken during the battle. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So this feature will... Okay, let me back up. That's fantastic for people who don't want to go back and redo it, but I would almost like to go back and redo it just to kind of go through and see what that new experience looks like, and which we might do, actually, videos around that. I don't want to start over. there's nothing in this game that makes me want to start all over from scratch. But I think it would be good to look at that new player experience a little bit. This feature will release with 1 chapter of quests, defeating the Elder Drake. More chapters coming soon. Oh, now that's awesome. I like that. I like the idea that we're creating long-term strategies, additional chapters, and different like story-based scenarios. I mean, there's a tremendous amount of work that went into creating the stories and the background for a lot of the champions that we use every day that none of us pay attention to anymore, right? So creating more content around that's fantastic. I love that. Daily quests for train 3 times will now count training a single item with multiple material. Thank you, guys, because that's just a little annoying. So I appreciate the quality of life. Boom. Gear. In general, we found that many late-game gear sets were underperforming compared to more easily attainable sets, such as Adept and Mortal. And not by a little bit. Like, underperforming by a lot. We want players to have more viable alternatives in their gearing strategies, and often a reason to push into harder content, such as the Koos, Boss, Bodrigor, and the Outer Harbinger. Okay, stop. People do want to push into that content, but like you saw the video earlier today, there's some reasons that, like, co-op, I don't like, period. Like, I do co-op because people ask me to do co-op. I don't like the experience myself. Because for a lot of reasons, the disconnects and all the other stuff, of course. But I mean, just the type of play it is, I don't enjoy it. Now that said, I understand it's part of the game. You just suck it up and move on. But I will say that the Outer Harbinger, I get a lot of messages, a lot of communication, a lot of conversations about people wanting to do it. But there's literally a specific Nat 5 paywall that jumps in there, right? So if you want players to have more viable alternatives in their gearing strategies, you want to make that gear you invested. I did a whole video about this. But if you want them to do more with that, then you have to make it accessible to more people. That's the only thing that's going to drive a change in the perception in the meta. So buffing the gear is great, but people still have to be able to get it. So hopefully we see some reductions in some of the raid stuff. We'll see though. So Blighted now applies more quickly. That's fantastic. Fast auto attack champions, 8th instead of 10th. And if you can get fast auto attack AoE champions, even better. Or cone attack, like we have archangels. So greater demons, that's great. Withering now applies more quickly. Fantastic. Because Withering should be an alternative for certain champions in Outer Harbinger, but the ability to get that level of Withering gear requires you to already have some context in some of the other content, right? So like co-op, right? Like you got to be able to do like Nightmare and Legendary and co-op to be able to get some of that piece and do it consistently day after day after day. Martial damage multiplier triggers every 1 second. Okay, once again, high attack speed units are going to benefit greatly. Oh, boss raids, King of Fighters, difficulty lowered, rewards increased. Okay. In general, this event was too hard for the rewards. Yeah, it was. We lowered the difficulty substantially on all stages. Yeah. Because I'll be honest, like, my Shiranui is like the easiest boss and the easiest part of the entire King of Fighter events. And she's the thing that you're supposed to go up to at the very end. And everything before it is super tough. And it takes too long for what you get, right? Because you're still getting 5 stars. So like you're farming 8 and 9, right? Pretty consistently. And it takes like a minute. It's just like I can do one of these other ones in like 40 seconds. And I'm getting the same rewards. So what's the value? In general, this event, okay, too hard for the rewards, right? The raids now drop a substantial amount of gold, so players don't miss out on gold income while farming the event. That was a big pet peeve I mentioned previously, and I'm so glad they fixed it. Because the King of Fighters event running during a double gold event means that I'm not going to do King of Fighters. Because I need gold. Way more long-term than I need whatever King of Fighters is giving. Greatly reduce the enemy damage of all stages of the raid event. Fantastic. I just complained about that 2 seconds ago. Slightly increased boss Mai Shiranui survivability. Wow. I literally just said that too. That's fantastic. This is exactly what it needed. Remove boss Shiranui's immunity. That's fantastic too. Now it might seem weird that I said she was the easiest, but they're removing that stuff. That's awesome because that means there's more units available to impact that fight instead of just having like OP Blade Masters, right? Because if you provoke, it's like game over, right? Because now they're just going to auto attack you, and it's awesome. And silence, which means the Archangel comes in. Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, Outer Harbinger. All right, everybody, this is the one I've been dreading. Looking forward to, most excited, anxious, whatever. All right. Difficulty lowered, gear buffed. That's what they said originally. Let's actually look at the details, though. In general, we felt that this fight was far too punishing for the rewards that it offered. Punishing. Different language than you used on the previous one. I appreciate that because that's exactly what it was. It felt like it was adversarial and punitive the way you set up Outer Harbinger, so that if you didn't spend money, it seemed like you were punching your player base. So it's exactly the right wording to use. That's fantastic. Not only were several of the reward gear sets buffed, but the overall difficulty of the boss was lowered significantly. I'm 100% behind this. I'm excited, happy. Improve the champion's avoidance of the Outer Harbinger's basic attack for the champions that are not the main target. Okay. Oh, that's exactly what I want to see. That is exactly. If you saw the video earlier today, where we did OH6, That this is exactly what we want. We don't want that ridiculous splash damage. That's awesome. Reduce the boss's shield by HP by 25%. Fantastic. Fantastic. Because we just started testing some ignore shield, ignore defense champions. So that's fantastic. Reduce the boss's regeneration amount per tick by 50%. I don't know that people were having problems with that if they brought mortal wounds, which was part of the strategies. I'm not sure. But I think this might mean that you can out DPS the regeneration, which is weird. Especially if you've reduced the shield. That's going to be really interesting. Reduce the damage of both arm skills damage to make it easier for DPS. Oh, man. All right. Pardon me. Oh, man. That's exactly what we want. That is exactly what we're looking for. Wow. Oh, okay, now I'm excited. Let me tell you, they're going to get a lot of slack cut for them because of this. I am super thrilled about this. That's fantastic. Elder Drake. Fixed a bug that caused stage 1 of the Elder Drake to sometimes drop precise gear instead of dazzling. Okay. Was unaware. Co-op raids. Let's see, how good can you make it for other people to make it so people want to play? Rewards increased. Okay. Baldragar will now drop bronze, silver, gold skulls in addition to his normal loot tables. Okay. More rewards. These skulls can be redeemed in the shop for high quality gear of a variety of sets, including those from the bosses such as Adept and Mortal. Okay, if you include all of the gear sets, like Withering and Martial, and like if you are going to include those, this is cool. That would make me want to do co-op more. Increasing the gold, it's got to be a significant increase because it does take a ridiculously long time to do those. So increased chaos shard drops per run significantly to compensate for the longer time required to organize and complete runs. About 3 to 4 times as much as before. I don't know. That doesn't entice me. I've had no luck with chaos rerolls. So maybe it's potentially possible that could be a good draw. Increase the rarity of gear drops significantly, compensate for the longer time required to organize complete runs. Okay. So Epic and Legend now drop only rare or higher, with higher rates of legendary gear than before. Fantastic. Legend difficulty has a much higher drop rate of 6-star gear. Okay. Okay. So more 6-star rare and better gear. Nightmare difficulty now only drops epic quality or higher gear, with higher rates of legendary gear than before. So 5 and 6-star epic gear only for Nightmare. Interesting. I don't know. We'll have to play around with that a little bit and see if the juice is worth the squeeze, as it were. Exhaustion rework. Change the per champion raid limit. Each champion can now raid 3 times per champion per week, regardless of the difficulty, instead of once per champion per difficulty per day. All right. I'm not sure that that's in our favor, to be honest. Because it seems like you can use your most powerful champions less now than you could before. We'll see, though. Replay feature. Added a replay button in the results screen to allow players to play again with the same team. That'd be great. As long as it doesn't disconnect you, because that's been the painful part about that. Difficulty globally, Baldragar was a bit too difficult, especially in lower difficulties. We made a number of changes to reduce his overall difficulty, made the fight a bit more fun. I'm all for you guys making stuff more fun. I don't know that it needed to be easier at the lower levels, but cool. I mean, he's like, the flyaway thing is annoying, but I mean, whatever. Okay, so this is exactly what I just... Okay. Man, I feel like they've been listening to people complaining. Right? Because if you do co-op, like, one of the reasons I don't like doing it is because he flies away, like, all the time. It's like fly away, and then I forget. I'll be honest, I even forget now which one. But it's like flies away in regions at the same time. I'm like, are you kidding? Like, that's stupid. Like, seriously, they're just stupid. Make him unable to be attacked, and just let him regen his health back. It's dumb. So if he flies away less, that's fantastic. Reduce the overall Bajikor skill damage on all difficulties, but slightly increases contagious spittle attack damage. That's fair. Bajikor now acquires face switching skills faster, and only 3 times instead of 4. He will not fly away from the platform when doing so. Okay. Reduce the duration of lower debuff for the fire. Water won't regen or HP when you can. That's awesome. Like, so many times complaining about this. So many times. Bajikor will not be able to heal or regenerate his HP when he cannot be targeted, aka when he's away from the platform. That's fantastic. Man, I kind of want to play co-op now. Because it's like all the stuff I hate they got rid of. Fixed an issue that was causing the boss to get stuck in animation loop. I wish the boss would do something besides run away and then come back and then just make it last forever. Because it's not like you're losing. I mean, sometimes you lose. That's just RNG. But it's not that you're losing. It's just that it's like when you're about to kill him, he just flies away. And then it takes forever. And then he comes back and then smacks you and then flies away. And then comes... I mean, it's super annoying. Dark Bajikor. Impending Doom will now apply the debuff effect after dealing the damage to allow players to counter the effect before it's too late. Okay. Fantastic. That's awesome. Ongoing damage from soul attack will not apply blight with each tick. What about... Yeah, okay. Ongoing damage from... Same thing for the light. So that seems like it was a bug fix. Fantastic. Fix an issue causing disconnection when returning from a co-op match. Oh, man. I feel like you've been listening. I don't know, but it feels like you've been listening, because that's like everything that I have a problem with and everything that I hear a lot of the community talk about. They're speaking to it directly. Fix the issue that some skill visual effects not visible. That's possible. I don't know that that's anything anybody ever said anything. Fix some moving or dashing skills that were causing unwanted character sliding against the boss. I thought the character sliding was awesome. I mean, obviously it's not what's supposed to happen, but I thought it was awesome. Okay. See, they've built up a lot of credibility so far, folks. But community, I don't know. Let's look at this. Okay. New buff, toughness. 10% reduced damage taken, stacking up to 5 times. Damage reduction, not death avoidance mechanic. I don't know. It's obviously not as good. It's obviously a nerf, right? But we'll have to see how that affects team compositions. New buff, weakness. 10% reduced damage dealt, stacking up to 5 times. That's a debuff that you're applying to someone. I don't think that's a buff. I think they might have missed the words up there, because this is the one right below it. Strength is a 10% increase in damage, stacking up to 5 times. That's a buff, right? So I don't know about that weakness. We'll have to see how that plays out for different champions. Many champions have been reworked to use these new stacking buffs in place of existing effects that do not use the buff-debuff system. Applying stack of any stacking buff or debuff to a champion that has the maximum number of stacks will automatically replace the stacks with the lowest remaining duration. If the new buff has a lower duration than this, nothing happens. Oh, okay. So that's great, guys, because basically that means that if you are applying debuffs, or buffs, I guess, for that matter, on auto attack, and it's creating these stacks that every auto attack, it's going to refresh that. So with a fast enough auto attack, you're getting your 5 stack, and it's always going to be 5 stacks. I don't know that that's actually how it's going to work, because that seems a little OP. But I'm definitely going to be interested in testing that out. And when I'm thinking of this, I'm thinking of oh man, I love this character, the Dark Mercenary and the Light Mercenary. That's what I'm thinking about, because both of those champions, that's what they do on their auto attack, reduce damage and increase damage respectively. So that's going to be interesting. Buff stealing can now be resisted. Using caster's accuracy versus target resistance. That's just going to jack everybody up. Now every champion is like Washi, right? They're going to have to be build attack, crit damage, attack, accuracy. If they hope to strip anything off or apply a debuff or do anything like that. So start adding accuracy to your greater demons, vampires, if you weren't already. That's going to be really interesting because it's not just that, but it's also versus someone's resistance. So if like your arena team has 100% resistance dazzling gear on it, I'm not saying mine does. I'm just saying if someone had that, it would be awesome. Buff blocks, debuff now blocks most shields. Wait, what? Buff block, debuff now blocks most shields. Except for Baltrigger and Outer Harbinger. So wait, Monas now blocks the shield from going up on Steel Widow? Oh. Wow. That's awesome. I mean, that's super fantastic. Water Magic Girl, same thing. Hoshi, the Nature Magic Girl, same thing. Like, you don't have to worry about stripping shields. Wow. Hoshi got super strong, super quick. Just with that. That's amazing. Okay, why do we change all these buffs? Many of the most popular champions, especially in competitive modes. Okay, so what you're saying is a lot of popular PvP champions in Arena relied heavily on effects that didn't use the buff-debuff system. Correct. That's why they were popular, because there wasn't a way to counter them. Now that they can be countered, that's going to change. So hopefully that's what they were hoping to do. They were hoping to change the meta. These effects, such as Diva's Starstruck, Magical Girl's damage reduction, cannot be effectively countered. Oh, I didn't even think about Diva's stuff being stacks now. Interesting. Magical Girl's damage reduction, that sucks. Cannot be effectively countered. I didn't have a problem killing people, but I understand what they're saying. I'm not happy about that, though, because I think that in order to compensate for the competitive mode, you've unnecessarily made some of the other stuff more difficult. But then you just turned around and said, we're going to make it easier. So now now that throws into question some of the things that you made easier. Did you make it easier because it suddenly wasn't survivable with these changes? Because I don't know about that. As part of a global push to reinforce counterplay, utilizing the buff-debuff system, we're standardizing these non-buff effects into a more granular stacking buff system. So this doesn't change the fact that you need to look for champions that don't use buffs or debuffs. Like, that doesn't change the fact that that's what you're still looking for those champions, right? Because, just like they said, they're trying to push a counterplay strategy where someone has something and you're going to choose a bunch of different champions, so you have to build a bunch of different champions to do something. But if you just ignore those things, then those are the champions you want to use, and those are the champions you want to go after. Now that there are many more buffs floating around, there will be more meaningful differentiation between the different counter strategies. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's exactly what I just said. Champions such as Great Demon will go wide, removing individual stacks of mini buffs, but never more than one type, whereas champions like Boon Sister will go deep by removing multiple stacks. So, stripping now only removes a single stack. So, it seems a lot like what they're saying is Greater Demon will remove one stack of a buff and leave the rest of the buffs. Boon Sister remove 3 stacks, I think it's 3 stacks of a buff, but it could be any of the buffs they have. So if you have 10 stacks between 3 buffs, I mean, it's going to remove 3 of maybe all of any variation of there. So that's going to be interesting. Because you still have all the other buffs, right? So you could still have like an attack buff. You could still have immunity, invulnerability, shield. I mean, you could still have all of that stuff. So that's going to be interesting. So other bombers such as other champions such as Bomber and Crowhag will benefit from their offensive abilities that rely on opponents having buffs now that they are more abundant. They're more abundant only if those champions continue to see the level of play that they have right now. Because shields were already pretty weak. Silence was huge. As someone pointed out earlier today, silence on in Arena and PvP is huge. It's one of the reasons Archangel's still so viable. The shield is not so much anymore, right? I mean, you can say whatever you want about Nagas. I agree with that statement. But I don't think that shields are as viable. Especially now, buff block just stops that from going up. Definitely a lot of things to test out. A lot of content to be made, right? Players must now wait 1 hour after changing their arena defense team. This is to prevent an exploit where players would rapidly change their team to prevent other players from attacking them during rush hour at the end of a season. Yeah, I heard about that. That's That's some real bogus nonsense. That's just bad sportsmanship. Made an adjustment to arena matchmaking to ensure that players at the top of the leaderboard who gave a huge gap in trophies from the next highest player will show up in the attack list of players close to their rank. Yeah, the ranking system is a bit rough for the top players. Slightly lower trophy requirements for many reward tiers to better reflect scores being achieved by the community. Ooh, I like that. I like that. Guild Wars. Prepare war. Guild leader officers can select the attackers of the next war at any time. Visible by all players, but can only be changed by... Okay, cool. Auto declare. That's been needed. That is 100% needed. Because the 6 a.m., 6 p.m. rule of thumb is hard to deliver with real life. So new features added to declare a new war automatically as soon as possible once the current war ends. Fantastic. Starts as soon as possible. Fantastic. If activated, wars will start one after another. Great. No delay. I love that. A war will never be declared automatically if they're less than 6 hours before the end of the current guild war. Okay. The option can be changed during registration when manually declaring a war. Okay. So, unless you're a guild officer or guild leader, probably this doesn't mean a lot to you. But those are really cool quality of life benefits. Health and threshold are now displayed in the war log. Great. Notification dot added to let the player know a new war is available in the guild war. That notification, the little red dot that pops up when you got to go do something, that thing's shady. It doesn't always work. Numerical values now played on the guild health bar. Okay, sure. Enemy health bar is now displayed in red. Sure. All right. Oh. Improved players can now give up during the action phase to move on to the next round. Will no longer forfeit the whole battle. Huh. Interesting. Bug fixes. There's a lot. Fixed opponents that are sometimes at full health that cannot be attacked. Fixed opponents that can be attacked twice. Fixed a bug that causes defense log entries to always show defeat even when the defense team was victorious. I went through this with like 5 or 6 viewers who had this type of error, and we couldn't figure it out. And then eventually we were just like, submit a ticket, and then it came back as this was a bug. Fix an issue that causes certain players to be disqualified by mistake. Great. Okay. Man, it's so much already. It's insane. Here's the champion balancing for PvE, Arena, and Guild Wars. Wait a minute. So is there champion balancing for... Oh no, so this is just there's nothing else. It's just all champion balancing. Celestial Splendor, Nature. Based on community feedback, the immunity buff now applies to the entire... Oh, wow. I specifically was complaining about this, begging for this to be a thing. Wow. Man. Oh man, I have the Nature Archangel, and I've worked on with Big Pete. Shout out Big Pete. Like trying to do a whole bunch of different burly builds, and wow, this is insane. Oh man, wow. Okay, that we're definitely bringing Totally Yoan out. Whew, man, immunity for the entire party. That's amazing. Oh, okay. Astromancer, Fire Nature, Cosmic Protection. Replace damage mitigation with 3 stacks of the toughness buff. Ugh. That I can tell you right now, I don't like this. I'm gonna have to play this toughness thing, because I don't know, man. Is that all at one time? I don't know. Cosmic Protection, fixed a bug where Cosmic Protection would stack zones on top of one another. Tweaked AI so it alternates between basic attacks and skills to maximize damage gained from her passives. Oh, very cool. Basilisk Rend. For all elements, now scales with defense and deals more damage on 4th attack. This also affects 5v5. Oh. Fire Breath. Dark Fire Nature. Now deals less base damage, but deals 4 ticks of additional damage in 1-second intervals to each target affected by the skill. Huh? Now I have the Dark Basilisk because I like his shield. And nature's always fun to play in 5v5. Okay, we'll have to play that out. Dervish Spin. Cooldown reduction effect is now based on percentile value instead of a fixed value. Okay. Boon Sister. Dampen. Dark Fire Water. Tweak the AI so that it alternates between dampen and skills to maximize its passive effect. Good. Bounty Hunter. Tweaked AI so that it alternates between... Okay. You're just making them more efficient. Readjusted base stats of Dark Bounty Hunter and Nature Bounty Hunter to better suit their assassin role. Whew. Happy about that. The Dark Mercenary does have... And I apologize. I forget who told me about this. But the Dark Bounty Hunter does have just an insane... like greater demon level gather skill. It's super cool. It is super, super cool. Alright, I'm procrastinating. Let's look at the Crow Hag. Crow Hags will target a nearby enemy if initial launch miss on Wings of Terror, Herring, Crows, and Bad Omen. Okay. Noxious Potion for Light and Water. Fixed bug where Noxious Potion would break shields after dealing damage and not break shields when empowered. Bad Omen, Water. Secondary targets now have 25% chance of being stripped and replaced buff with ongoing damage. Huh. I thought that they were all going to get... I thought all the chances were going to be stripped down. Oh, that's... Okay, that's fantastic. I thought... that it was going to be way worse than that. That is not bad. That I don't think that's bad. At least it could be. We could start playing this and realize that that's awful. But that doesn't look bad to me right now. So I'm once again fixing Outer Harbinger and creating better content for new players. You got a lot of credit. You got a lot of runway with me today. So. That adds more runway because I think that's good. Ferocious Roar for Light, Nature, and Water now slows in addition to its other effects. Ooh, in 5v5 that's going to be awesome. Diva, Inspiring Lyrics, Energizing Dance, and Beatdown skills are now locked while active. This also affects 5v5. Locked while active. Okay. Stunning moves will only attempt to stun each target once, even if they are hit. Oh. Well that... a target that resists the initial stun will not have to make subsequent resistant checks. No more Diva Cheese. Game changer. Game changer. Wow. You know, it's so funny because I just built an auto AO and it got me into the top 50. And it didn't include Diva. Right? And I am so happy, and I'm really sorry for everybody that was using Diva Cheese that has to now come up with something else. I will do videos. This is awesome. I'm super excited by that. I think defenses are a little bit more viable now, and by a little I mean a whole lot. Wow, man, that's awesome. That is gonna be a big change. Dryad, vines created by ensnaring roots and hindering roots now goes 1.5 times faster. This. Oof. So it's going to move faster, but end faster too. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Healing Bloom now scales with her HP instead of target HP and increases the global healing ratio of 35. Wow, that's nice. We could see a lot more gameplay with the Nature Dryad because of that global increase. Esper, suppression, pulse, and mental anguish range has been increased. Wow, great. That is great for the Espers. Fox Assassin, increased fire Fox Assassin, Hoofy, Dark Assassin, Dodgy, and Water Assassin Yanni. Attack speed from 1.7 to 2. Man, please make Dodgy awesome again. Holy cow. I used to love Dodgy. Fairy, AI will now recast your ultimate skill much more quickly. Ooh, 5v5. Make those AI bots better. Golem, Earthquake for the Firelight Nature. Each hit now stuns target in the area for 0.25 seconds, and the target in area are slowed. This also... Okay, so... Each hit now stuns? So, isn't the Golem now going to Diva Cheese? We'll have to try that out. Because if Diva stuns only need to be checked once, but Golems needs to be checked every single time. I don't know. We'll have to check that out. Earthquake and Ground Pound now start faster than before. Okay, so Golem could be a secret weapon now. I mean, it's not a secret weapon. Lots of people used them before. That'd be interesting to see. Ground Pound damage now scales with the Golem's max HP. That's great. That's more synergy. Gun Mage, reload ice, fire. The ice is for the fire. Gun Mage now immobilizes instead of applying stun. In addition, Gunslinger can only stun a target once per reload. Ice set of empowered bullets also affects 5v5. Okay, reload Prism Nature, fix a bug that causes elemental advantage to apply incorrectly. Great. Greater Demon. Devour Magic now only removes one buff stack of each unique buff type instead of all buffs. This means that stacked shields, toughness, and strength will only have one stack removed. Lizardkin. Sturdy Scales. Fire Nature now has 50% chance to give 2 stacks of the toughness buff when receiving a critical hit. Scrappy now gives a stack of toughness when HP goes below 40%. Okay. Magical Girl. Readjusted the stats of Water Magical Girl Yuko to better suit her support role. Queen of Hearts. Dark Fire and Water. Now it gives 3 stacks of toughness, 5 stacks with full skill ups. Damage dealt now scales with the damage received before reduction. We're just going to have to play this out. I don't know how that's going to work. We're just going to have to play it out. Because it sucks for PvE. And hopefully it helps PvP, I guess. Queen of Hearts. Now locked while active. This also affects... Why? I don't understand the locked while active thing. Has that been a problem? Like, that you could spam skills after you're using them? I don't know. Mercenary. Changed role for Nature and Dark to support. Okay. Readjusted the stats of the Fire Mercenary, Light Mercenary, and Dark Mercenary to better suit their roles. Okay. Shockwave Fist, Dark in Nature, now heals, scaling on defense in addition to apply a stack of toughness to the whole team. Super excited to test these out. Bounty for all. Light Water now empowered every 3 seconds to give stack of strength to all allies for 6 seconds. We're going to have to play that one out and see how that stacks up. Because that looks an awful lot like you can max out those stacks. I don't know. We'll have to look at that. Monkey King. As we all know, no update is complete without a Monkey King buff. We see no reason to end this tradition now, so we're yet again giving some love to the Monkey King. We noticed that the Monkey King's AI was not using his skills in an optimal manner, causing him to lose a lot of DPS in auto mode. We've made modifications to give him a soft buff by making his AI prioritize damage output. That's good, because it's not really a buff, it's just an efficiency with the AI. So it's not like he's going to do more damage than he could have before. It's just he's going to play better. So that's really just going to help auto teams. But it's also going to make it a little bit more difficult when fighting bots. So keep that in mind. Anytime they change AI, that happens. AI will now recast Monkey Tricks and Acrobatic Feint more quickly. In addition, area of effect is slightly larger. Okay, well, no, that's just a buff. If the area of effect is slightly larger, that's just a buff. Tweaked AI so that it alternates between basic attacks and skills to maximize effectiveness. Let's see. The wave. Okay, so for Naga, because I heard like Nagas were going to be legit. The wave created by Flood, Tidal Scourge, and Changing Tides now moves 1 point times faster and knocks targets into. Whoa! Whoa! Flood now raises defense of allies hit by the wave. Okay, so Flood now is going to work just like the Light Boon Sister skill does, except it's an insane area of effect. Oh man, I cannot wait to play that. Pirate, Roguish Vault, Light. Now deals more damage against shields that cannot be removed. This preserves the concept that the skill is strong against shields, even against powerful bosses. Okay. Interesting. Ranger, fixed AI so that she casts her buffs at the start of battle, especially in arena defense. Okay. Piercing Arrow, fixed a bug where the projectile is not as large as it was supposed to be. Ooh, now has more impressive visual effects. Lethal Shot, Fire Dark, fixed a bug where the projectile is not as large as it was. Now has more visual effects. Man, I feel like I should... Am I going to have to take a break? I think I'm going to have to take a break. Goodness gracious. Scan Berserker. Increase base attack speed to 2. Oh! Good gravy. Relentless Strike. Fire and Light. Now it gives 2 stacks of strength buff for 2 seconds when HP goes below. This effect can trigger again after 2 seconds. Can trigger again? So how long does the stack last? Oh, okay, never mind. I see what it's saying. You get 2 stacks every 2 seconds. Harden. Now it gives a stack of toughness buff each time to damage instances are received. Okay, Pump. Now it gives a stack. I don't know. I don't know about that. Scan Warlord. AI should now cast Brutal Charge, Unstoppable Assault, and Terrible Onslaught even when targets are close. This affects 5v5. Okay. Snake Lady. Increased radius of area effect by 50%. Okay. That's good. Don't get me wrong, that's good, but her damage overall needs to be increased. Awe, Striking Kiss, Draining Kiss, and Silencing Kiss are now single target skills using homing projectiles. Well, that's good. What? Okay, Awestruck Kiss now applies the stun buff for duration scaling of the projectile's lifetime. Interesting. We'll have to see. Squire. Protective Aura Light now passively give 2 stacks of toughness buff and refreshes every 10 seconds. By the way, I just got this dude from the free chest yesterday. So I think he's a great toy to build. He's really, really good with his provoke for skill for Ultimate Blitz. So I'm actually going to have fun testing him out. Tiki Warrior, Mana, Loa, Mana, Ki, in Ancestor's Fervor now gives up to 3 stacks of the toughness buff to herself and allies in the aura. Okay, Tiki Spin. Reduce the size of the hit zone for knockback effect. Ooh. Damage still applies to the same range, okay. The reduced speed acceleration will... and reduce speed acceleration while spinning. It's a little bit of a nerf, I think. Tiki's pretty awesome in 5v5. Specifically because of those things. So shortening her range and making her spin slower. That hurts a little bit. Thunderstorm, Fire and Light. Fix the bug where Thunderstorm could stack zones on top of one another. Yep, I'm fully aware of that. Vampire. Hungering Swipes. Now only steals 1 buff per target while the skill is active. 1 stack, right? Not just 1 buff. 1 stack. Even if the target's hit multiple times. Ooh, that's rough, man. Hungering Swipe, Steal buff now requires an accuracy. Okay, we knew that. That's that check they talked about earlier. Fixed a bug with stack zones. Okay, True Form, Lord of the Night. Night Terror range has been reduced. Oh, okay. I'll be honest, guys. There's a ton left to go through in this update. It's insane. So I'm definitely going to have to break this up into 2 parts. So hit me up with the comments below what you think about these new champion balances. Let's have a conversation about that, and then we can kind of get into some of the other things that are in this update patch in part 2 of the Update 5 patch notes. As always, thanks for watching the videos. Have a great night. Bye-bye.